such a good song. Oh my god, this silence was deafening.
Sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna read from my script.
Woo.
Pull out keys and try to open the gate.
Okay.
Well, it seems that I have misplaced my key for tonight, so welcome to the annual inauguration of propaganda.
Woo.
We are a group that prefers to remain anonymous. I am Zara, and I will be your host for this. And I will be your host for this evening at the Neo-Baroque gate with the beautiful calligraphy script near the grave of John Cassavetes. We took place at the steps of Chateau Marmont, in the parking lot of the Kunstverein in Hamburg, and near the star of Rainer Werner Fassbinder in Berlin.
Woo.
Now I'd like to read a few words spoken by John Cassavetes himself. This is a stupid town. It is a stupid town in the sense that maybe it's one of the largest cities in the world. It's lazy. It is so sissy in its mentality. So go along with everything that goes along. It's corporate owned. It's a town owned by Hollywood. And it's about time it grew up. It's about time it took art and said, "Come on, baby, show me something." And there are not many people showing anything. And there are not many people that will go out and put themselves on the line in this world today because everyone's so frightened. We're doing this for you. For you. For you. Before we introduce our first reader, spreader, I'd like to ask everyone to ponder this question. Why do we write? Why do we write?
Why do we?
Right? Frank Dema.
John was nervous? So for the last 2 years, I have been the resident sub at a middle school in South Central called Dr. Julianava Learning Academy. And it is, snaps for fucking JNLA. It's like kind of mid-tier as far as like Southside Middle School goes. Like we sneer up at Young Kim Charter School in Koreatown, we like look down on the really ghetto-ass middle schools like Carver and, you know, and Clinton, if we have any alums around here. But these are short journal entries I wrote over the basically the last year of my time at this school. That's about all you need. Wednesday, September 11th, 2023. Today I made a mistake. There's this 6th grader, Yosimar. The top of his head barely reaches to my belly button. He only speaks Spanish. And he has inexplicably won the privilege of parking his electric scooter in the principal's office every morning. In class, Yosimar was completing his work with a little nub of a pencil, so I told him in my terrible babyish Spanish that his pencil was un tamaño bueno para él, like it was a good size for him. And I was proud that I remembered the word for size, but of course he and the other boys took this the wrong way. When I walked past Yosimar's table again, his desk mate, a Salvadoran kid named Jefferson, quickly rooted around in a tub of colored pencils and pulled out a long, almost unused white one. "Eso tienes tú," he said with a laugh. "That's what you have." Thank you. Thursday, October 5th, 2023. While I was taking roll, a kid named Jaden threatened to knock the glasses off my fucking face. To which I responded, "Do it." And the whole class roared. "I'd like to see what happens," I said, and they roared louder. Friday, November 10th, you get the idea, it kind of goes on like this. November 10th, 2023, one of my least favorite kids, this 7th grader named Elijah, had written "Free R. Kelly" all over his forearm cast. He asked, in his irritating way, whether I thought R. Kelly should be in prison. Trying to skirt the question, I said quickly that I didn't believe in having prisons. And Elijah thought for a second. "So, basically, free R. Kelly." He smiled, and I didn't respond. Monday, January 8th, 2024. A great day. 2 students had obviously copied each other, though one of them had misspelled a bunch of words. When I put her on the spot, she said, "It was dream work, mister." I guess referring to the phrase "teamwork makes a dream work." "I didn't get any of that dream work over here," said Maria, whose paper was blank. Not a fave, okay. Crossing that off. Wednesday, January 10th, 2024. Today I subbed for Mr. Rucker's PE class. It was Monday run day, when students run/walk the mile. I heard a girl say something, and I called her back to ask her to repeat it. She'd said that when she was little, like 5 or 6, she'd eaten $1 because she thought that was how you saved money. Thursday, January 11th, 2024. This 7th grader... This 7th grader...
It's part of it.
This 7th grader, Nathan, was attempting to ditch into the class I was subbing, claiming he was someone else. "Mister, that's Sergio," a friend backed him up. "Nathan, get out of here," I said. "Mister, Sergio's back from being deported." "No, he's not," I said. This kid Sergio had been gone for a while. "I got deported," Nathan whined. "No, you didn't, Nathan," I said. This went on, and Nathan finally left. Not a minute later, I heard a kid whisper, "Sergio got deported again." Wednesday, January 17th, 2024. "We got to miss 3 periods, mister. We missed 3 periods," gloated Renai and Jaya. "We missed 3 periods for the Black Students Club, and they gave us free pizza and juice." Renai continued, "That's why it's good to be black, mister. Yes, it is. It's good to be black." Friday, February 2nd, 2024. Jacaden was disparaging a classmate, saying, "Renee ties his girl's shoes even in the rain. I wouldn't tie a girl's shoes. I wouldn't even tie my own shoes in the rain. I'd tuck them before I did that." Later, I overheard that same kid, Jacaden, had moved to LA from Texas to take care of his grandpa. A girl interrupted, asking, hadn't he been kicked out of his last school? "Why'd you get kicked out?" I asked. "For fighting," he replied. "Did you win?" I asked. "They don't kick you out for losing, mister." Wednesday, February 14th, Valentine's Day, 2024. At 8:30 this morning, a kid... Fuck me. A kid... So maybe I just don't do it. I'm just gonna...
I think
It's close to this? Do I have to be behind it?
Close.
Is this gonna be better when I'm doing it back here? Am I...
On the
okay.
gate.
It even looks
So lesson to everyone
Yeah,
after
that's
me? Something that could have been sorted out. What about leaning?
Don't lean. It's you know, it alerts the caretakers.
Yeah? Okay. I'm gonna do that here now. So the Valentine's Day. At 8:30 this morning, a kid asked me whether I would give Ice Spice back shots if she let me. Then he asked me if I'd seen the Drake video. Then he showed me the Drake video. Then he asked me what my body count was. "Is it more than 6, mister?" "I bet it's not more than 6. I refused to answer. "Is it more than 3? You could tell us." I could not. "Mister, just nod your head yes or no. Is it more or less than 1? Wednesday, April 3rd, 2024. Pre-algebra lesson. Have you guys done problems with X's before, I asked? Genesis has. Juan Bermudez said quickly. Went over your heads, just went over your heads. Friday, April 12th, 2024. Mr. Garcia's first period class was a bad class to enter with a new haircut. Abraham greeted me first, saying, "What did they do to you, mister?" He was joined by others. Who fucked you up, mister? They fucked you. GTA-ass barber. You should ask for a $20 refund. One of the kids threatened to bomb my barber's mama's house.
Oh, no.
It was pretty disheartening, not gonna lie.
Yeah.
And then Monday, April 22nd, 2024. Friday was 8th grade picture day. All the kids filed in to don caps and gowns and take their promotion pictures. Peter and his friend, Eric, asked me to hold their hoodies. I'm such a sucker, I was tearing up, helping all the boys with their fake ties. Instead of a short end, each of the ties had a skinny piece of elastic, and all you had to do to remove the thing was pull down on the tie knot. But none of the boys could figure it out. They all came over to me one by one, presenting their necks to me for help. I could have explained to them quite simply how to take off the ties, but I didn't. I didn't want to. For once they needed me. So I stood there in the auditorium, holding their hoodies and undoing their ties.
Okay.
Thank you.
That's very good.
Thank you. Thank you so much. John Tottenham has been described as our preeminent contemporary poet-maudit, a unique purveyor of magnanimous misanthropy and magical cynicism. He is the author of one novel, numerous essays, and 4 slender volumes of poetry. The Inertia Variations, Antipithalamia, and other poems of regret and resentment, the hate poems, and Fresh Failure.
Okay.
Not in the mood. I just came in here to use the restroom. Where do you piss around here anyway?
Good parking lot. One thing over.
I've been walking down the street.
Well, let's get this over with. I've got my way over. While you were busy multiplying, begetting superfluous spawn, I was lying in the darkness, emitting solitary groans, thinking about all the things I haven't done, the hopeless battles fought, imaginary breakthroughs that came to naught, all the useless knowledge uneasily won when I could have been doing something fun, edifying, or charitable. A lone sentinel, constantly on guard against my lower self and constantly straying from my watch. I failed to let the sun shine in and only stopped to smell the roses where nobody was looking. Now the present is blurry, the future is stale, and the past is sadder than rusted braille. Turning the empty pages of all the unchronicled phases. The mythic lift, the staggered decline, indelibly etherized in real time. All the plans that were never hatched, preserved in ink-stained chicken scratch. The finer points that will never be unscrambled or unfold. Circling the drain of a chronological netherworld. I deprived myself in the hope that it would provide me with a unique perspective. It did. And that there would eventually be some reward for the sacrifice. Come on, more. There wasn't. The high road has been the road less traveled. Maybe if I turned another corner at another time. But by reaching too late for the brass ring, the easy way out became the hard way in. And at this late stage, it's too much of a stretch. My best years lie squandered behind me, lost a false modesty, and I'm just another unsung, ink-stained wretch, a footnote to a footnote, fading into the margins of an unread book, risen without grace, fallen without trace, with so much unfinished, so much unbegun, with echoes of loss unspun through layers of numbness, never to taste the loneliness of fulfillment, living in the aftermath of my own potential like a ghost stillborn, drifting in a nameless sadness spawned by sunlight undeserving of the dawn, looking back at all the wasted years adrift, at all the incompletion, compulsion and repetition. My legacy a burden, not a gift, through which no one wants to sift.
Okay. Well done.
So good, thank you. Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. I don't need to read from my script for this one.
No, don't, darling. I just wanted to torture you. I'm sorry. Hi. Everything I have is unfinished, but that's why this is a reading. It's not a submission. Let me get to my shit.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'll start with this random one that maybe some of you saw. I posted it. I liked it. I'm more pained than that because my sadness is ancient, because pedophiles made me ugly, because coke made me fat, because I actually thought about his penis and not just fucking him. Not just the attention, but the black hole winking at me. Because my sadness is deeper than yours. Because John Tottenham Pillowsham said so. Because he's my dad. Because I don't fuck him. Because unlike the rest of you, I recoil at my clarity. I search for nothing. I'm here. And it's everything. And it's violent. And every morning I'm born and every night I die. And I've never even read Shakespeare because I have a crush on you. Because you won't fuck me because I want to fuck. Good night. And then here's good morning. My morning routine. Crack my body out of bed and fight the urge to clean an already clean slate. Walk to the bathroom remembering when avant-garde musician pointed out my questionable wall decor made by my ex-boyfriend. Charcoal drawing, god damn, the Xanax is not helping. Charcoal drawing of the Pink Panther gently sucking the end of a black pipe. Take only what you need from it, scrawled at the top in a way that makes you remember to sing it. Entering the bathroom to brush my teeth, I already hear people talking to me as if it's 3 a.m. and I'm having a party. Avant-garde musician is sitting in my bathroom with an olive-skinned goth girl in a bikini, while doing drugs I wish I could be doing in a body I wish I had. She asked me, Lily, what do you do for a living? I get raped and sometimes not raped in a house once a month for not enough money. Right like my life doesn't depend on it, Stargaze commuters as a passive passenger. In short, I'm a bitch, submissive. I look at my throat before brushing my teeth and feel this strain between my chin and neck leading down to my throat. Urgent care told me I need to go get checked for throat cancer. When they diagnose me, I know I'm going to be completely unserious. Because I'm going to be completely unserious. Not just unserious, but despite my better imagination, I'm thinking of things in this one-dimensional, overly sympathetic, sitcom character kind of way. I have cancer, but my hair looks amazing. No, yes, I'm sorry, I know, that's after chemo. I'm just about to be in a room with sick children, so I need to be funny. Let me be funny. I spit out my toothpaste. Do they allow adults the Make-A-Wish thing? I'm so horribly serious, I'd ask to talk to my ex-boyfriend and then my friends would have to talk me out of it for 7 hours. Good, good, good. Now I have something to work against this morning. I am now disgusted enough with myself to work up. Jennifer Junifer by Donovan starts playing in my head, and the film starts. Brush ends of hair, cut. Tie shoe, cut. Look into a camera and wink, cut. Remembering it's a song that could be applied to my stepmother, Jennifer, trying to kill my dad crashing 3 of his cars, or placing mannequins and pentagrams around his home, kicking his ribs in when he didn't want to give her the phone. But also me when I was at my grandmother's and tried a new psychiatrist and she put me on 2 antipsychotics, 1 antidepressant, and a mood stabilizer. I sat on the floor of the yellow bathroom during the pandemic, staring at the black rooster weather vane on our neighbor's roof, spastically changing with the wind. One of the holes in my brain expanding to a crater with nothing coming in or out. Or maybe that's the mind's eye? Either way, it expanded. It was the floor of my brain with the remaining pink matter desperately sucking the walls of my skull. The first time I wasn't kidding about suicide. I cannot fathom that chemicals could do this. Proof we are still paying the atomic bomb's karmic debt. Snap out of it. Look at his Instagram. Hate yourself. Hate him for $9.99 a month. Sorry, I can't finish. I can't come. Love's the only thing. Love is a stream. And failure does not entitle me to compensation. Good morning.
Yeah.
There you go. Can I do one more?
Yeah,
Is there
go,
time?
go.
I'll do one more. I'll do one more. This is a hateful poem. It's kind of a, I mean, all of this is kind of.
Spit the hate.
My good is bad. My love is creepy. When I was a kid, it was force-fed. It was always a consequence or mindless consumption, a way to meet silence without being alone. This is how idiots are made. This is how wrong I am. Grating enthusiasm, greeting mortality. Hi, baby, how are you? I'm good. I'm just like, you look at me and you think I could cry any second, and you want me to. I'm a walking mutation you called emotional labor. What the fuck does that mean? That's what people are. What the fuck makes me different? What the fuck makes me so special? Probably the fact I lay down and take it. I let you ram your cock down my throat so many times it started to feel better than pussy. It didn't even feel human. I'm not human. It felt so good you went home afterwards and wanted to kill yourself. The labor of seeing me, the labor of love, the labor of knowing. Just more sickness, just more revision, just more control. My good is bad. My life is funny. My feelings are like tits. It's like talking to a wall. Thanks.
Thank you so much. That was
I
wonderful.
like porn. It has me film when I'll give it to you.
Let's make sure it's on.
Yeah.
Skylar
All the
Hodge.
time, but
Howgate.
Gotta say every single letter.
Sorry.
It's like really
Is a writer. I'm holding my phone in a flask. Sorry. Is a writer from Los Angeles who just got back.
woo, from. Okay.
Her work has appeared in Pinup Magazine and Forever Magazine and some other stuff. Skylar's good. And Skylar wrote this bio.
Hi guys. It's an honor to be here in my hometown of the West Side. Where we're from makes us who we are, and we couldn't be more proud of that. That's why we're dicks.
Okay.
Take my hat off.
Okay.
It's in here somewhere. My 2012 purse, you guys. I made it. Okay. So this is coming out in Forever issue 7 that comes out in a few days. So if you were gonna buy it, now I guess you don't have to.
Oh.
You still should. That's
Okay.
my point. Anyway, okay, here we go. This is called Basement Girls. In January 2013, I was 13 years old. I could think of myself as baby new millennium forever because I don't think people will still be thinking things in the year 3000. There was a big story in the news reports about those girls who had been kept in that basement by that man for 12 years. Those teens had lived in the old millennium exclusively. There were stories about their pregnancies that would become movies about seeing the sky for the first time. There were stories about bodily things and ungodly things. Soon after was the Boston Marathon bombing, and I told my dad the basement man deserved the death penalty more. I should have just said sooner. The Marathon man didn't wake up every day and decide to build a hell. He woke up one day too desperate to get to heaven, we assume. He was an American, merely inducted into another cult of expediency, and maybe only did it for the reasons my dad says. Only in America do these things happen. Because people are privileged enough to believe they deserve greatness. I'm not sure if I'm people yet. Being in a room with 70 virgins won't make you any less of a virgin, but I hated running anyway and proclaimed I'd rather just die often. I knew just enough of the world to assume being held in a basement, maintaining only that amount of clarity, for an indefinite and later reported on infinity, would be worse than being struck down by God while doing laps for my health department mandated ritual sacrifice. I had prayed for that. When you look directly into a laser, you don't go blind right away. You wake up the next morning and wonder why it took you 12 years to break the trope that all stories begin with "I woke up." They teach you not to do that in middle school. They also teach you about lasers and manifest destiny and flowers for Algernon. I wondered how those cautionary tales, the children who looked into the lasers, had spent their last night of sight. It only matters because they didn't choose it, like being born on Y2K, like living in a basement, like telling your father the truth. I'm not sure if I'm people yet. Did they spend it experimenting with drugs that make you smarter than dumber? Did they spend it wondering if these 70 girls online are real virgins? Did they spend it learning Braille or piano or hemming or applying for marathons or learning sign language? Did they spend it with mice? Never forget. I know they won't. Moms on the news cast the marathon man as a good kid who'd gotten into trouble, the way they cast their daughters as canaries who'd surely only gotten pregnant in the dark, the way they cast their daughters in pageants. No one knows why caged birds sing, just so you must put a blanket over them at night to get them to stop. I imagine the blankets in the basement were the foil ones for runners in the transient. I learned on the news that year they could be used as tourniquets. I wonder if those girls had learned that too. I'm sorry for wondering. But the basement man had surely already been mad enough not to care about their heartbeats under his floorboards. They were not both dead and alive to him. He opened his box every day for 12 years. He only lasted 1 month in prison. He killed himself by using a prison blanket as a tourniquet around his neck. Later that year, more basement men were pulled from the woodwork and put on the news. Was it because the authorities had stopped searching for those other girls when the cases got cold in the dark? Had those girls stopped searching for salvation? In 2008, Obama ran on hope. I don't remember his slogan in 2012. Was it never forget? My dad says the marathon man deserves to die more because he killed so many more people. He doesn't understand how many times one girl can die. It's at least 9. The end of suffering is always death, but I'm on a runner's high that makes you smarter than dumber, so I die and die again without realizing it. The whole world is flooding like a basement. The pair of canaries on the ark just flew away because they smelled smoke. The Bible teaches you "I woke up" belongs in the middle of the story. I only know how to pray by running in circles. If I was trying to save someone in a disaster right behind me, I would only know how to take the long way around. Obama's slogan in 2012 was "Forward." My house was built in the 1920s and the basement was sealed off. My dad liked to believe it was because moonshine bootleggers lived there. There was evidence, but the police had stopped looking. If I break into my basement, I might find Twinkies still edible from the last millennium. The Mayan calendar just ended. They knew there were too many gods for the world to last forever. Maybe the world would be less deserving of the death penalty if it had gone out in a bang. I whimper in gym class. Twinkies were just discontinued. If I opened my basement, maybe there would be someone who used to be a 13-year-old girl down there. Maybe by the time I opened my box, she'd be dead. Maybe she would have escaped. I pray "I woke up" belongs at the end of her story, even if that means it's in the middle of mine. Maybe she got into a nicer basement with 69 other virgins. Maybe she'd have folded her tinfoil blanket into origami, so that's all that was left, floating like an ark. But the basement would probably just be full of the kind of alcohol that used to make people go blind.
Woo.
Thank you so much. I'm going to thank all the readers because I just love them so much. Okay, and now introducing Sienna Foster Soltis.
Hello. I have to get everything out of my bag. So I wanted to do something entertaining, you know. I wanted to entertain you guys. So I was like, what's the most entertaining thing I could be doing here? And this probably isn't the most, but I'm going to be
airing some petty drama in my personal life. Which aren't we all, but it's like, you know. I'm actually, yeah. So for context, around like 2 years ago, I was paid to write the script it was a play, right? And it's an adaptation of Faust. If anyone knows Faust, but in this adaptation, you know, it's like, it's in a digital age, right? So he's like an incel on Omegle. He's killing himself on Omegle, like he's live streaming it. He's like live streaming some porn too, or something like that. So I see this play, it happens 2 years ago, and it's like not great, you know, but they're doing it again now, in like a month, right? And so they wanted me to do all these rewrites, but they wanted me to do them for free, and I'm not gonna do that. So instead, to relieve myself of this like anger I've been feeling, I'm gonna read you guys a monologue from it. This is Faust saying the monologue. I'm Faust. Remember, Omegle, killing yourself on Omegle. If I could sit and root for a winner, I would. Who has the bigger tits, the rounder ass, who's gonna fuck her longer, harder, louder, meaner? Does it matter as long as I get off? What objective order or structure exists except what we give it, what I give it? Oh, but this order, this set of limitations and knowledge and caring and leaving and loving and dying, you believe this it is determined by something omnipotent? Oh, if I could sit and root for the all-knowing way to win for me. If I could sit and milk my dog and gaze upon an ass in a box existing in bliss and trust without the order of societal means and bounds, without the incessant banging of the base of my skull, the top of my neck, the soles of my feet, pleading to be emptied, I would do it. The contaminated receptacle resting on my shoulders emits conscious radiation to my physical form, leaves me barren and without animal function. Oh, but if I could root for the winner, if I could justify the means of my suffering like the suffering of Christ the Innocent One, as an objection against life, the formula for life's condemnation. The tragic man says yes. The tragic man suffers for our order, for our contentment, for our complacency. The tragic man suffers so I can live within the bounds of all-knowing Daddy, watching out for me, making sure I don't fall and scrape my knee. And if I do, we cover the wound in bandages, the scar of the incident enters and leaves our body without remnants. If only I had that type of protection. If only my own witnessing could exit my memory the way yours does, the way what you watch here right now eventually will. Nylon is the strongest of all ropes. In common use, it's used for absorbing shock loads, such as when lifting or towing. It has the ability to return to its original length after being stretched. It possesses abrasion resistance and can last several times longer than natural fibers. And you think, can any more insane extravagance of vanity be imagined than to measure the value of existence according to the pleasant or unpleasant feelings of this consciousness? Is that all I say to you? Oh, but if only it were that simple. I manifest in obstacles. I go against what resists, like the primitive tendency of protoplasm when it extends its pseudophodia. The act of appropriation and assimilation is, above all, the direct result of a desire to overpower, a process of forming, of additional building and rebuilding, until the last and subjected creature has become completely a part of the superior creature's sphere of power. What sphere exists here now? I ask of you now to witness me. Witness me in the only way release exists outside the boundaries of my body, of my order, of my sphere in will and power, in limitation and in being.
Woo!
Nimrod Kamer
The screen turns
is a former soldier.
You can say it. Uh-oh. You can say which army.
And writer of the Social Climber's Handbook.
This cemetery actually reminds me of the IDF, where I was a soldier during 9/11. I was standing there at the gate, chasing cows, and they told me I have to serve 3 years, and I kept trying to get out of the army. And I wrote this massive spam email to everyone in the IDF. You could tag everyone without even knowing their email. You just put their names in. And I said there's a geyser in the army base and they have to evacuate the base. And they thought I was going insane, so they let me out 2 months earlier from the army. Yeah, I got out. I moved to the UK. We're not going back, like Kamala says. And then in the UK, all I do is I crash members clubs. I try to get into all the members clubs. And I say, hey, I was here last night and I owe you money. I have an open tab, open bill. Let me in to pay my bill, and that's how I get in. I pretend to be in debt to everyone, and I keep looking for my bill the whole day. Like I sit on the bar, no, there's a bill, I'm not leaving until I pay it. And then I leave a scarf in the check room forever, so I can come back with a ticket. And that's my membership, basically. And the best way to get in is to walk in backwards so they can't see your face at the door. Like there's a guest list and you say, yeah, I'm -1 on the guest list. So someone has to leave for you to get in. And that's how then I emailed the PR and they send me a rejection email, like you cannot go to the party, and I show the rejection email at the door and they let me in sometimes. Because they know the name on the email, it looks familiar. It's like the actual email of the PR, even though it says no. And yeah, I get hotel discounts all the time. I pretend I'm going to write a review for the hotel, and they give me 50% to. And then they ask me, "Where's the review? You promised us a piece about the hotel." And I was like, "You gave it to me for free. I'm biased, so I can't write the review anymore about the hotel." Yeah, that's it. That's basically. So Zara, I'm giving you the Chateau Marmont key. I'm going to duplicate the key to the Chateau swimming pool. So you guys, when I go back to London, you can use it. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Nimrod. What's your sense of LA so far?
I'm so tired, like exhausted. Cute. Just in time before the battery burns.
Free Palestine, am I right?
Yeah.
Not ironic. God, I just sound like that. Okay, so I got awkward really fast. Stacey Voss is a writer of short fiction and scholar of early printed books and Middle English devotional literature of and for women. She earned her PhD at UCSD and now teaches English literature and composition at the University of San Diego. Her first chapbook, Long Story Short, was produced in 2021 by Miss Dragon Print and Copy. We can all give a clap for Palestine because I feel like people got awkward and weird about it. And it's not something to be awkward or weird about, guys. We can talk about this. Jesus Christ. Okay. Christ?
Hi, Zara. Can we also give a hand to all our readers so far, but especially to our host, Zara, and definitely to Frank for doing our mic check and for being a substitute teacher who lets his students make fun of his dick. Okay? Thank you. I love you, Frank.
Love you.
All right, and also the Pierce Brothers Westwood Village. This is gorgeous. All right. I wasn't really thinking about having to hold the mic and my pocketbook, which is for sale on the ground to the left of me. I will speak right into it. The change. Every pig is little when you get it, said the shop owner to the customer, while reflecting upon her sister's surprise over the size of her aging barnyard pet. So I have many very, very short stories just to prepare you.